Hello everyone, welcome for another video tutorial in IT 311, the system administration and maintenance using Bash scripting in the Linux operating system. So for this lesson, we will be discussing about loop. Okay, so actually loop is very common in other programming languages. So loop is a computer program that performs repetitive tasks. Okay. This is very useful when we want to execute more than one statement. Okay. So it will execute, it will run, it will take an action, um, commands, statement many times, but depending on the condition. Okay. So loops allow us to take a series of commands and keep rerunning them until a particular situation is reached. They are useful for automating repetitive tasks. Of course, in Bash scripting or in particularly in system administrator administrating in Linux operating system. For example, suppose that you want to perform repetitive tasks that without or to lessen the human interaction to the computer or to make it life easier, we loop is very important. Okay, so for example, suppose that we want to automate or to automate in determining for login users. Okay, we could do that using loop. So in this lesson, we will tackle while loop. In Bash scripting, there are different types of loop statement: the do while loop, the while loop, the for loop. But in this case, in this lesson, we will tackle the while loop. Okay. So I have mentioned a while ago regarding the depending on the condition. Of course, the condition here expression is a combination of variables and logical or relational operators here. Okay, so it, as you can see in the screen, so these are common operator uh, in performing condition. Okay, so that's EQ, that's GT, that's LT, that's GE, and thus LE, and also of course there are other operators for manipulating files and so on and so forth, but these are common operators used in the if and also for loop statement. Okay, so how how does the while loop work? Okay, so we have here a keyword while and then do and done. Okay, so we have here a keyword while, do and done. In this graph, this is the flowchart of execution of the while loop. Okay, the in this the symbol here, the diamond symbol, is the decision symbol, represents actually the condition. If it is, it will test if it is true or false. Okay, so if the condition here is true, and then using this keyword do, perform the actions, perform the statement, or perform the commands here, and then it will go back to while loop again to test the condition. If the condition is still true, using the do keyword, perform again, perform the commands, perform the actions here, then it will go back to the while condition. Okay, so if the condition here becomes false, that's the time the loop exit using done. So after done, whatever be the commands or statement after done here, so it will be executed. Okay, so this is the diagram of the while loop. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, this is the sample script for a very simple sample script for while loop. So we have here, okay, so bin bash and then basic while loop. These are actually, and proceed with a remark here. Okay, this is just a remark. This is just the basic information of this script. Okay, so our point here, or then our main agenda here is this one: counter one, and then up to done. So the counter equal one is the initialization of the variable. Okay, so this is one important thing in making a loop, usually for loop or while loop. We have to identify the variable and we have to initialize it. Okay, without initialization, without starting the value of the variable, we can't perform a loop. Okay, not always that the variable not always that the value of the variable is equal to 1. It depending on how you make a program or how you make a script. Could be counter equal to 10 or counter equal to 1000 or counter -5. It depends on how you make your own script. Okay, so in this case, counter equal 1. So the starting value of counter is 1. So the next line is while statement. Okay, the while keyword followed by this expression, this conditional expression. This conditional expression, combination of a variable with an operator and a constant value enclosed with open and close square bracket. This is now the condition. Okay, so the value of the variable is 1. Its counter is 1. So it will test is 1 is does L using does LE, meaning less than or equal. Is 1 is less than or equal to 10. I believe the condition here is true. Okay, this is true. And then after this condition, using this do keyword, it will now execute the commands or statement here within do and done. Whatever be the commands here, it will be executed when the condition here is true. Okay, so the commands here, the value of counter, so this will be displayed, and then the value of the variable counter, which is 1. The value of counter 1, so there it will be displayed, and then here is the increment or the control of the variable. Okay, you need to control the value of the variable so that it will flow smoothly. This is very important in making a loop. Okay, so you need to understand very carefully and incrementing or decrementing the value of the variable, because if you don't know how to use it, your program might crash or it might hang. So this expression is to increase the value of the variable. So counter plus plus. So this syntax of this incrementing is just like other programming languages like Python, PHP, or C++. So meaning counter here plus plus is just to increment the value of the variable by 1. Plus plus meaning increase the value of the variable by 1. Okay, and then done. So it will be executed. These two statements here, this expression and then the statement here. It will go back again to counter -LE, then 10 to test the condition. So the value of the variable increases to 1. That makes it 2, though it will test again. So is 2 is less than 10 or less than or equal to 10. So again, this is again true. So if this condition is true, the value of it will now execute again this one. The value of counter, and then the value of the counter here will be displayed. The value of counter 2 there, and then it will now again it will now increase the value of the variable by 1. So the previous value of the variable is 2, then increase to 1, it will become 3. Again, it will go back here. It will go back there to test the value of the variable. So if is 3 is less than 10, again this is again true. Okay, so this will become true until it will become 11. So you know, for example, the value of the variable is the value of counter is 10. It is still true because here is 10 is less than or equal to 10. That is still true. Okay, and then counter plus plus, it becomes 11. So it will go back to the condition again. Is 11 is less than 10? That's the time this condition becomes false, and the statement here will not, okay, it will never be executed. And then of course other statement here after done will be executed. So the loop stops there. Okay, so let us try to run the program. Control O and then save, and then Control X to go back to prompt. So we've already convert to executable file using the chmod plus X, and to run the program we just type period slash then loop, okay, dot sh. So we have here now the output, okay, the value of counter. So the counter variable, the value first initial value of the counter is 1, so it display there, okay, 1, and then it will go back to loop to test the condition 2 is less than or equal to 10. The value, so that is true, the value of counter is 2, so it displayed there. So again it increased the value of the variable by 1, so the counter variable has value 3. Then test again the condition, is 3 is less than or equal to 10? That is true again, so it will execute again this one, and so on and so forth until it reaches to 10. And then the variable counter increase its value to 1, that becomes 11. Then it will test the condition, is 11 is less than or equal to 10? That becomes false. That's the time the while loop exits. So it only display this output from 1 to 10. So this is the basic syntax or usage of the while loop statement. Actually, there is another version of using the while loop statement, particularly in the counter. Okay, we can also use this one. For example, let us go back and in our editor. So Nano, we could also use this syntax, but not using counter plus, using let. Okay, let there. Okay, so counter is equal to counter plus 1. Okay, so meaning that is counter plus plus. This is an alternative way of expressing the adding the number of the variable. Counter is equal to counter plus 1. So Control O, save the program. Control O, save, and then Control X, and then run the program. So again it display the output the same with the previous script, but we've used this alternative expression on incrementing the value of the variable. A while ago, that is double open and close parentheses counter plus plus. That is one way of adding the value of the variable by 1, and this is another way of adding the value of the variable by 1. Let counter equal to counter plus 1. So that's it, our video lesson in while loop statement. I hope you learned something about this lesson. If you have a question, you just put your question at the comment box. So see you again in our next video. Bye bye.